Everything was quiet until it was. Out of nowhere, a piece of footage linked to NBA YoungBoy suddenly exploded across the internet. Timelines flooded, group chats erupted, and fans everywhere asked the same question. Where did this come from and why now? What many believed was buried, forgotten, and long gone had resurfaced in the most unexpected way. Late one night, multiple anonymous accounts began posting clips allegedly showing unseen moments from YoungBoy's past. The internet reacted instantly. Screenshots spread like wildfire, TikToks appeared every few seconds, and Twitter threads multiplied faster than anyone could follow. But the story only got wilder. Some insisted the footage wasn't new. They claimed it had been hidden for years, tucked away in obscure corners of the web, waiting for the perfect moment to re-emerge. Others dismissed it outright, fake, edited, or a deliberate setup. Yet the reactions felt real. Fans split sharply. Some defended him fiercely, insisting this was another attempt to tarnish his name, while others dove deeper, resurfacing old interviews, tweets, and connections no one had noticed before. Then came the unsettling twist. A supposed insider dropped a cryptic message claiming the leak wasn't random, it was planned. By whom? That question hung unanswered, fueling endless speculation. If orchestrated, this wasn't just a viral blip, it was the start of something far larger. To understand why this hit so hard, you have to revisit YoungBoy's journey. His career has never been ordinary or calm. From the beginning, he built his reputation on raw emotion, pain, and unfiltered honesty. Unlike other artists chasing trends, YoungBoy made fans feel like they lived his struggles alongside him. Every lyric, every post, every outburst carried authenticity. That rawness drew intense investment, and it invited scrutiny. His rise came under constant pressure: legal troubles, public feuds, relationship drama, house arrests. Drama never paused. Over time, a pattern emerged. Whenever YoungBoy peaked, music charting high, fan support surging, something disruptive appeared. A clip, a rumor, a leak. And now, the resurfaced footage carried a different weight. Fan investigators scouring the web claimed the viral clip came from a rarely discussed era in his life. Early days, before mega fame, before industry polish. Users dug through deleted Instagram lives, forgotten YouTube uploads, and obscure repost accounts. Fragments of the footage had surfaced years prior, brief glimpses dismissed as insignificant. Now, the full clip re-emerged, paired with captions like, "Y'all missed this the first time. Nobody paid attention." Suddenly, everything old felt new again, and narratives shifted. If the footage had existed unnoticed for so long, why go viral now? Theories multiplied. Some pointed to timing. YoungBoy recently trended with new music buzz, growing attention, and industry chatter. Others suggested personal motives. Someone close might have access to old material and knew exactly when to release it. Either way, the timing felt strategic, not accidental. Intensity escalated as more resurfaced. Old interviews replayed, now reframed. YoungBoy talking about trust, betrayal, and loyalty were no longer ordinary artist musings, they were warnings. He knew something like this could happen, fans said. This ain't his first betrayal. The story evolved beyond one clip. It became about the leaker, identity, motives, and what else might be hidden. Hardcore supporters mobilized, flooding comments, reporting posts, labeling the footage fake or edited. But the internet moves fast. Reaction videos exploded, influencers weighed in, blogs transformed it into headlines. One viral post became an online storm. Then one post changed everything. A viral thread from an account claiming direct knowledge, not speculation, insider insight. It began simply, "This ain't random, this was planned." People locked in. If true, what we'd seen was only the prelude. The thread hinted at bigger stakes, old connections, unresolved issues, unfinished business. No names, no proof, just confident tone. That confidence proved dangerous. The story no longer revolved solely around YoungBoy. It became a potential coordinated situation expanding beyond a single clip. Theories multiplied. Evidence circulated. It was clear this narrative wasn't fading, it would escalate. And escalate it did. New clips surfaced, longer versions, alternate angles, slowed edits, each claimed to reveal more. One viral thread even compared the resurfaced footage to a nearly forgotten live stream. At first glance ordinary, but a single detail, same room, same setup, same period, suggested a direct connection. If true, this wasn't random. It was real. Belief spread faster than fact. Hashtags trended, reaction accounts amplified, and even unrelated observers chimed in, laughing, confused, attacking. Then came the first major twist. A leaked DM conversation surfaced. Unverifiable. But wildfire spread ensued. Messages allegedly showed someone close warning YoungBoy about the footage being weaponized, hinting that a holder had waited years for the perfect moment. One line stood out. "They've been sitting on this, just waiting till you back on top." Suddenly, this was bigger than entertainment. Timing, strategy, and context hinted at control and orchestration. Every post, every leak, every thread now carried weight. Fans debated authenticity, motives, and stakes. Social media became an arena of fact, opinion, and conjecture. Every detail mattered, or seemed to. The resurfaced footage did more than expose old moments. It exposed the dynamics of fandom, obsession, and digital influence. YoungBoy's silence, his non-response, was now a statement. Fans filled the vacuum with theory, discussion, and speculation. The ambiguity became a tool, amplifying curiosity while keeping YoungBoy's narrative under control. The saga highlighted a modern truth. In a hyperconnected era, information never truly dies. Old material, when resurfaced strategically, can redefine narratives, spark new debates, and challenge perception. What once seemed insignificant now had the power to dominate timelines, divide fans, and push discourse into philosophical, ethical, and cultural territory. And yet, even as chaos unfolded, one truth remained. YoungBoy's story is never just about him. It's about how audiences interpret, react, and amplify every fragment of content. Every clip, deleted post, or insider tip is a piece of a larger puzzle. How people perceive it, debate it, and share it shapes the legend, independent of any confirmation or denial. So here's the question for you. Was this leak a random mistake, an orchestrated plan, or something else entirely? Was it about control, revenge, strategy, or attention? Or is it just another reminder that in YoungBoy's world, nothing is ever simple, and everything is worth dissecting? This is the story in motion. Fragments from the past, fans searching for truth, insiders hinting at secrets, and an internet unwilling to let go. And just when you think you've seen it all, another clip drops, another theory emerges, and the saga expands again. The chaos isn't over. The footage, the reactions, the whispers, they're just the beginning. And in true NBA YoungBoy fashion, the story unfolds on his terms, leaving the internet chasing, theorizing, and debating with no final answer in sight. Narrative flipped, not embarrassing viral clip, calculated hit. Fans polarized instantly. One side proves real, caught, no setup, just damage control. Other, trying destroy him, industry move, y'all falling again. Divide uglier. Personal turn, influencer once linked to Circle went live unannounced. Hesitant at first, pausing, sighing, reading comments. Then bombshell, y'all really think this just popped up out of nowhere? Chat froze. They hinted at past people, old friendships, unfixed fallouts. Hints careful but enough. Everyone sensed knowledge or performance. They spoke vaguely about history, people holding grudges, waiting revenge. No direct accusations, yet implications clear. Someone betrayed trust, held material years, struck when vulnerable or successful. Live exploded, clips clipped, shared, dissected. Fans demanded answers. Supporters rallied harder, accusing clout chasing. Skeptics demanded proof. Chaos peaked. Amid frenzy, another layer, connections to broader pattern. YoungBoy's life documented publicly, ups, downs, everything scrutinized. Vulnerability weaponized. Fans argued industry targeted outspoken artists. Others said personal choices invited drama. As hours passed, more fragments appeared. Some claimed deeper archives, old associates, early circle members. Speculation ran wild. Revenge, jealousy, money, unresolved beefs. Yet core remained. Authenticity defined him. Rawness built empire, invited attacks. Supporters saw victim of success. Critics saw self-inflicted wounds. Storm raged. No resolution. Questions multiplied. Who leaked? Motive? What next? One certainty. NBA YoungBoy's story never simple. Layers upon layers, pain, talent, controversy. This moment reminded everyone, past never truly buried, resurfaces when least expected, reshaping present. Fans divided, but loyalty persisted. Defenders argued context missing. Others dissected relentlessly. Internet moved on eventually, but impact lingered. Another chapter in saga, never quiet, always intense. What began as quiet resurfaced footage became mirror to career. Explosive, scrutinized, resilient. And as dust settled slightly, one truth clear: NBA YoungBoy endures. Controversy comes, goes, music, connection remain. But next leak, next moment, always possible. In world watching constantly, nothing stays hidden forever. They didn't name anyone outright, but the way they phrased things carried enough weight to set imaginations on fire. Once guessing begins on the internet, it becomes unstoppable. Within hours, names started trending. Old associates, people who had faded from the spotlight years earlier, suddenly dragged back into the spotlight through accusations, side-eyes, and wild speculation. All of this chaos stemmed from one resurfaced clip, yet it snowballed far beyond its original frame. Then came the tipping point. Another account, this one positioning itself as a true insider, dropped what they labeled a detailed timeline, a full breakdown of how the footage supposedly came to be. According to this version of events, the material wasn't some forgotten file that randomly resurfaced. It had been recorded during a very specific window in YoungBoy's life, deliberately stored by one particular individual, quietly circulated among a small circle of people over time, and only recently pushed into public view. No hard proof accompanied any of it, but the level of specificity felt convincing to many. People latched on immediately. They began connecting fragments from different threads, building elaborate theories, crafting entire narratives out of scattered bits that might have been real, exaggerated, or completely fabricated. Through all of this escalating noise, NBA YoungBoy remained completely silent. No tweets, no Instagram stories, no cryptic emojis, no defiant responses, nothing. That absence spoke louder than any statement could have. Silence fueled the fire. Why stay quiet? If the footage was fake or manipulated, why not shut it down with a quick denial? If it was real but out of context, why not provide clarity? To some, the quiet became proof in itself. "The silence is telling me everything I need to know," became a recurring caption across platforms. Pressure mounted, speculation intensified. Just when it seemed the situation couldn't possibly grow more heated, another twist landed. A short audio clip began circulating, allegedly recorded shortly after the original footage went viral. In it, a voice that many fans swore belonged to YoungBoy could be faintly heard saying words that listeners instantly interpreted as a direct reaction to the leak. The audio quality was poor, the context non-existent, the recording itself questionable. None of that mattered. Once people convinced themselves they recognized the voice and deciphered the muffled phrases, it solidified into truth for large portions of the audience. The story escalated again, this time shifting from what had been seen to what might have been said, and whether those words confirmed the darkest theories already circulating. At that stage, the internet largely stopped debating authenticity. The new central question became, who did this to him? Because regardless of whether one believed the footage showed real events or fabricated drama, the orchestration felt undeniable, targeted, calculated. perfectly timed to coincide with his upward momentum. As more voices piled into the conversation and more puzzle pieces appeared real or invented, one chilling idea gained serious traction. What if this was only the opening act? What if additional footage existed? More leaks waiting in the wings? More secrets still held by someone with a grudge? If this represented just the first wave, whatever followed could potentially be far more damaging. Just as the tension appeared to peak, the situation vaulted to an entirely new tier. This was no longer contained to dedicated fan circles or drama pages. It had crossed into mainstream celebrity territory. Subtle reactions began surfacing from artists, producers, and figures loosely or directly connected to YoungBoy's orbit. No one mentioned his name explicitly, but the timing aligned too perfectly to ignore. One prominent rapper tweeted something along the lines of, "Funny how old things always pop up right when you're leveling up." Another posted a vague Instagram story, "Truth don't need defending, it exposes itself." Whether those messages actually referenced YoungBoy became irrelevant. The audience decided they did, and once belief takes root, it becomes the dominant narrative. Within hours, gossip blogs and mid-tier entertainment pages latched on. Headlines proliferated. Resurfaced footage sparks heated debate over NBA YoungBoy's past. Fans divided after viral clip raises serious questions. Was this leak planned? Internet seems convinced. What began as social media frenzy had evolved into a legitimate circulating story. Then came the flip that changed the trajectory once more. Someone, identity still unknown, dropped what they called receipts. A carefully packaged thread appeared containing screenshots, audio snippets, fragments of old conversations, all stitched together to support a larger claim. The poster insisted they had held onto this material for months, quietly observing, waiting for the right moment to release it. The crazy part: these alleged receipts didn't merely revisit the viral footage. They introduced an entirely new dimension, a behind-the-scenes fallout. According to the thread, the situation stemmed from deep personal betrayal. Someone who once enjoyed close access, who felt disrespected, cut off, and ultimately owed something. If accurate, this wasn't random exposure. This was revenge, pure and calculated. The thread alluded to private disagreements, shattered trust, and one pivotal moment that supposedly altered everything. Again, no names were explicitly dropped, no verifiable documents surfaced, but the delivery felt confident, detailed, and just plausible enough to draw people deeper. Fans shifted focus. They no longer stared only at the clip. They hunted for motive, access, and opportunity. Who could have possessed this material? Who harbored enough resentment to time its release so precisely? Who stood to gain from the damage? Names began flying. Producers from early mixtape days, former friends who had fallen out publicly or quietly, anyone who had once orbited close enough to potentially hold unreleased content. The more names surfaced, the messier and more vicious the discourse became. Reaction content exploded across platforms. YouTubers dissected every angle in multi-hour videos. Streamers read threads live. TikTok commentators stitched together their own breakdowns. Everyone claimed fresh insight, everyone added fuel. Some insisted the entire saga screamed setup, too coordinated, too convenient. Others countered bluntly, "Y'all reaching. This just looks bad, period. Stop the excuses." Then another major pivot arrived. An old interview clip from years earlier resurfaced again. In it, a younger YoungBoy spoke candidly about the people closest to him. Sometimes the ones right beside you be the ones watching you the hardest. Back then, it registered as typical artist caution about trust in the industry. Now replayed amid the current storm, it landed like prophecy. Reposts flooded timelines with captions like, "He tried to warn us. He knew. This ain't coincidence." The narrative crystallized around betrayal. And betrayal narratives cut deeper and spread faster than almost any other story in hip-hop culture. Just as that angle seemed to solidify, yet another bombshell landed. A completely separate account emerged, claiming possession of even more unreleased material, not yet public but prepared. Their message was short and devastating. This ain't the only clip. No preview, no evidence, no follow-up, just that single line. Somehow, it was sufficient to ignite panic. Fear shifted from what had already leaked to what might still drop. Supporters grew louder and more defensive. Critics sharpened their attacks. The entire ecosystem reached a point where reality fractured. No one could confidently say what was factual anymore, but everyone held a strong opinion. Still, YoungBoy offered zero response. No denial, no clarification, no subtle shade, nothing. That prolonged silence grew heavier with every passing hour. At this stage, even one carefully worded post could have redirected the entire conversation. But the quiet persisted, amplifying uncertainty. Then one small but potent detail began circulating. Several of the original accounts that first posted the viral footage suddenly went private, deleted their content, or vanished entirely. No explanation offered. That disappearance raised immediate questions. Were they instructed to pull back? Did they realize the backlash had grown too severe? Or did someone higher up intervene? When key players start vanishing from the discussion, it suggests something larger lurking beneath the surface, something that hasn't fully revealed itself. By this point, the situation had spiraled into complete, uncontrollable chaos. The internet didn't merely react, it detonated. Twitter timelines, TikTok For You pages, Instagram Explore tabs, YouTube recommendations, everywhere carried the same debate. No corner of social media remained untouched. The most striking element, total division. No consensus existed on any major point. One massive faction defended YoungBoy without reservation. To them, the clips proved nothing, clearly edited, out of context. Every time he starts winning, something mysteriously appears to drag him back down. These supporters weren't passive, they mobilized. Mass reporting swept through offending posts. Accounts spreading the material faced coordinated callouts. Some accused entire networks of orchestrating a smear campaign. Loyalty transformed into warfare. On the opposing side, frustration boiled over. Y'all can't keep excusing every red flag. This behavior isn't normal. Stop acting blind just because he's your favorite. Skeptics viewed the defenses as denial, the silence as guilt, the pattern as self-inflicted. The internet effectively split into parallel universes, two irreconcilable versions of events coexisting in the same digital space. One side saw targeted sabotage against a misunderstood genius. The other saw consequences catching up. Neither would yield. And through it all, the central figure stayed absent from the conversation. He unintentionally dominated. The footage, the theories, the receipts, the disappearances, the cryptic celebrity reactions, everything circled back to one unspoken question: what happens next? Because if the pattern held, silence rarely lasted forever. Eventually someone would break it. For now, though, the storm raged unchecked. A single clip had unleashed layers of doubt, loyalty, revenge, and paranoia. What started as curiosity had become obsession, and obsessions like this rarely end cleanly. And once that happens, there's no middle ground left to stand on. The online world doesn't allow for nuance anymore. It demands sides, and people dive in head first. Conversations dissolve into outright arguments, personal attacks, doxing attempts, and relentless dragging. Friendships forged in comment sections shatter overnight. Entire fan bases turn into warring factions, with loyalty tests and purges of anyone who dares express doubt. Comment threads become battlegrounds, filled with caps lock rants, emoji storms of fire and skulls, and threads that stretch into the thousands, each reply more heated than the last. It's not just about defending or criticizing NBA YoungBoy anymore. It's about proving your allegiance or exposing the haters as frauds. The toxicity reaches levels where people start blocking en masse, creating echo chambers where only one viewpoint survives. But the escalation doesn't stop there. It pushes even further when bigger voices, those with massive followings and influence, begin weighing in. They don't name him outright, of course. That would be too direct, too risky. Instead, they drop vague, cryptic comments that the internet immediately latches onto, twisting them to fit the narrative. Take, for instance, a well-known podcast host during a live stream. Midway through a discussion on celebrity scandals, they pause and say something like, "Sometimes when something resurfaces, it's not about what it is, it's about when it shows up." The timing couldn't be more suspicious. That clip gets snipped out within seconds, reposted across platforms, and tied directly to the YoungBoy situation. Fans and critics alike dissect it. Is this a subtle nod, a warning, or just coincidence? It doesn't matter, the connection is made, and it amplifies the drama tenfold. Then there's the popular influencer with millions of followers who tweets, "I'm not picking sides, but if something keeps following you, maybe it ain't random." That single post racks up over 100,000 likes in mere hours, with retweets and quote tweets exploding like fireworks. Of course, the internet connects it straight back to YoungBoy. Speculation runs rampant. Is this influencer in the know? Have they heard whispers from industry insiders? Or are they just farming engagement off the trending topic? Again, the truth becomes secondary. Once the audience decides it's relevant, it sticks like glue. These indirect shoutouts from high-profile figures lend the whole saga a layer of legitimacy it didn't have before. What was once confined to niche fan communities now feels like a mainstream event, drawing in casual observers who weren't even following YoungBoy's career. And as these bigger voices chime in, the discussions evolve, or devolve, into something much deeper and darker. It's no longer just about the resurfaced footage or the alleged leak. The focus shifts to YoungBoy's entire image, his past behaviors, and what fans and detractors alike start calling his pattern. Old controversies that had long been buried or forgotten get dredged up from the depths of the internet. Clips from years-old interviews, grainy videos from early live streams, and screenshots of deleted tweets suddenly resurface, pulled into the conversation as if they were fresh evidence. A moment that has absolutely nothing to do with the current viral clip, like an old feud with another artist or a cryptic social media post, gets weaponized. People start stacking these unrelated incidents together, building a case. This ain't the first time something like this has happened. Y'all forgot about that one incident. He's been moving weird for years. Whether these claims are fair, accurate, or even relevant doesn't factor in. The internet operates on momentum, not justice. Once people begin layering narratives on top of each other, the story balloons into something larger than any single truth could contain. It's like a snowball rolling downhill, gathering more debris with every turn until it's an avalanche. Supporters see it as a coordinated smear campaign, an attempt to dismantle a rising star who's too real, too unfiltered for the industry's comfort. Critics view it as a reckoning, a moment where patterns of behavior finally catch up. The middle ground, non-existent. You're either ride or die or part of the problem. Meanwhile, dedicated fan pages and stan accounts kick into overdrive, desperately trying to redirect the energy. They flood timelines with positive content, THR. Oback clips of his best performances, reminders of his chart-topping hits, fan art, and motivational quotes from his lyrics. Their message is clear and consistent. This is a distraction. Focus on the music, not this nonsense. Y'all are falling into a trap designed to derail him. They organize hashtag campaigns like Support YB or Real Fans Know, urging people to stream his latest tracks instead of engaging with the drama. But it's an uphill battle. At this point, the controversy has become the story, irresistible, all-consuming. Positive posts get buried under waves of negativity, and even the most loyal fans find themselves pulled into defensive arguments they never wanted. Then comes another layer of intensity that cranks everything up a notch. Media outlets, starting with the smaller, niche ones that thrive on hip-hop gossip and celebrity scandals, begin covering the saga. Nothing official from major networks yet, but headlines start popping up on blogs and entertainment sites. Viral clip sparks heated debate around NBA YoungBoy's image. Internet divided over resurfaced footage of YoungBoy. What does it mean? Was this leak timed to sabotage his comeback? These articles aren't deeply investigative. They're often just recaps of social media buzz, laced with speculation and embedded tweets. But once the media gets involved, the situation solidifies. It's no longer fleeting social media noise that could vanish with the next trend. Now it's documented, archived on websites, searchable via Google. That permanence means one thing. This moment will linger, popping up in future searches, influencing perceptions long after the initial hype fades. Just when it feels like the volume couldn't possibly get any louder, it does. A fake audio reaction begins circulating, unconfirmed, of course, but that's never stopped anything online. This snippet allegedly features someone from YoungBoy's extended circle reacting to the viral footage. The voice sounds emotional, frustrated, almost panicked, with lines like, "Y'all don't even know the half of it. This ain't supposed to be out." It's unclear, muffled, and could easily be manipulated or entirely fabricated. Yet it spreads like wildfire, shared in threads, stitched into TikToks, and analyzed in reaction videos. People react not just to what they've seen in the original clip, but to this supposed behind-the-scenes fallout. The fear escalates. If this audio is real, what does it imply? More hidden material, deeper betrayals. Now the central question morphs again. It's no longer simply, is this footage real? It becomes, what else is out there? That uncertainty gnaws at everyone involved. Theories spiral into the absurd. Elaborate conspiracies involving rival labels, jealous ex-associates, or even hacked devices. Speculation digs deeper, with amateur detectives combing through old social media archives, cross-referencing timestamps, and even analyzing metadata on shared files. The entire situation balloons into something far grander than anyone anticipated, a digital mystery thriller playing out in real time. At its core, though, it's no longer about facts. It's about perception, and perception has spun wildly out of control. Fans cling to their versions of YoungBoy, the misunderstood genius, the victim of industry sabotage, the raw talent who's too authentic for his own good. Critics paint him as problematic, with a history of drama that invites scrutiny. The divide deepens, with no bridge in sight. But right when it seems like the internet has hit its absolute breaking point, when every possible opinion has been voiced, every theory posted and reposted, something unexpected shifts the dynamic. After all the deafening silence from YoungBoy himself, after watching the chaos unfold unchecked, whispers begin circulating that a response might finally be on the horizon. Not a hasty tweet or a vague Instagram story, but something bigger, more deliberate. Something direct that could either quash the rumors once and for all or ignite an even larger firestorm. The anticipation builds like static electricity before a storm. If that response materializes, everything witnessed so far could change in an instant. Alliances reshuffled, narratives rewritten. And just when the online world convinced itself it had seen the peak of the drama, the final twist lands with devastating impact. Nobody is prepared. After days of absolute radio silence, after letting the speculation run rampant and the arguments rage, something finally emerges involving NBA YoungBoy. It's not a fiery tweet, not a lengthy caption under a photo, not even a straightforward statement issued through his team. Instead, it's far more calculated, more enigmatic. Late at night, when most assumed the situation had plateaued, a short clip surfaces. Not from some anonymous burner account or a fan page hyping theories, but from a source that feels authentically tied to him, perhaps through a close associate or a verified affiliate. In that clip, there's no elaborate explanation, no vehement denial, no tearful apology. Just one line delivered calm, controlled, almost emotionless. "Y'all really believe anything y'all see? That's it." No additional context, no follow-up elaboration. Just that single, piercing question hanging in the air. Within minutes, the internet ignites anew. Everything flips on its head because interpretation becomes the new battlefield. Is this an outright denial, dismissing the footage as fake? Is it mockery, him laughing at the gullibility of the masses? An indirect confirmation that there's more to the story? Or simply him toying with the chaos, stirring the pot for his own amusement? Debates erupt instantaneously, fracturing opinions even further. That's a straight denial. He's calling it all cap. No, that's deflection. He's avoiding the real issue. He's laughing at y'all for falling for it. He's trying to brush it off because he knows it's true. Every faction seizes that one line and molds it into ammunition for their cause, turning a simple statement into a Rorschach test of loyalty and bias. But the twist doesn't end there, it deepens. Not long after this cryptic clip starts gaining traction and going viral, the original thread, the one that kickstarted the entire saga with its so-called receipts, screenshots, and insider claims, vanishes, deleted without a trace. No farewell message, no explanation, no archived screenshots floating around as backups, just gone as if it never existed. That sudden disappearance terrifies the online community. When something that explosive evaporates after drawing so much heat, it begs questions. Did the poster get exposed as a fraud and bail? Or were they silenced, threatened, paid off, or legally coerced into pulling it down? Suddenly, the story pivots yet again. It's no longer solely about the footage or the alleged leak. Now it's about control, who wields it, who loses it, and what strings are being pulled behind the scenes. People start questioning the foundations of everything. Why delete it now after all this attention? Who pressured them to take it down? Was any of that thread even real to begin with, or was it all a setup? The narrative shatters into even more fragments with no clear path to resolution. Some interpret the sudden deletion of posts and accounts as vindication. Proves it was all fake. The liar got caught and dipped, they claim. Others see it entirely differently. It was too real, and someone with power stepped in to bury it before it spiraled out of control. Truth? Impossible to say. Concrete evidence remains elusive, but the uncertainty itself has become a weapon, spreading faster than any verified fact could. Confusion breeds paranoia, and paranoia fuels endless cycles of speculation. Just as people try to make sense of the disappearing posts, new rumors begin bubbling up from the digital underbelly. Whispers circulate about legal teams mobilizing, cease and desist letters flying, potential lawsuits aimed at leakers or defamatory accounts. Some claim specific profiles are under surveillance, perhaps by YoungBoy's camp, maybe even authorities if things veer into harassment territory. Even more ominous are rumors that additional content is being held in reserve, clips or messages potentially more explosive than what has already surfaced. If true, this story is far from over. One leak may not hit hard enough, so another, and another, could emerge, escalating until the damage becomes permanent. Here's the undeniable truth. Despite all the chaos, the viral posts, the arguments in comments, the cryptic insider messages, the mounting speculation, nothing has been officially confirmed. No admissions from YoungBoy, no verified statements, no proof strong enough to settle the debate once and for all. Yet the effects are enormous. Whether fans accept the resurfaced footage as genuine or dismiss it as manipulation, perceptions of YoungBoy have shifted. His authenticity, vulnerabilities, and reputation in the rap world are being reconsidered in real time. Once doubt takes root, reversing it is almost impossible. Reputation isn't rebuilt overnight. It lingers, and every action, or lack thereof, gets scrutinized anew. The most chilling aspect is what's already out there. It's what's still hidden. Insider whispers, if even partially accurate, suggest someone might have more than they've shared. If that's true, everything we've seen could be just the prologue. Future revelations might not just go viral. They could upend the way fans, industry peers, and the media view YoungBoy entirely. So now the question emerges. Was this just a one-off viral storm destined to fade with time? Or is it the first move in a much larger calculated campaign with more layers waiting to unfold? Based on everything we've seen, the timing, the content, the deletions, and the cryptic messages, it's impossible to dismiss the idea that this is far from over. Every sign points to a story that's carefully playing out in real time. At this point, it's worth stepping back and assessing the full scope. NBA YoungBoy's career thrives on authenticity. His music, raw and unfiltered, makes fans feel a part of his life. The struggles, the triumphs, the pain, the anger. That connection draws loyalty but also invites scrutiny. His openness becomes fuel for interpretation, and in a digital era obsessed with instant reactions, nothing remains private. Every word, glance, or pause can be dissected and turned into a narrative. This saga has exploited that truth masterfully. What adds another layer is how fans and outsiders have responded. The internet is fractured. Some defend him unconditionally, viewing every resurfaced clip as malicious manipulation. Others see the footage as confirmation of a side of YoungBoy they didn't previously recognize, questioning authenticity or past behavior. Social media threads are divided, echo chambers reinforcing pre-existing biases. Every conversation spins further complexity into the mix. Meanwhile, the deletions themselves became a story. In today's digital world, erasure is powerful. Removing content suggests intervention, sparks curiosity, and immediately raises questions. Was it legal pressure? Did someone close to YoungBoy intervene? Or did the original posters vanish voluntarily after realizing the storm they'd created? Each possibility fuels a different interpretation, and the more that disappears, the more people fill in the blanks themselves. That absence becomes as important as the content itself. And then there's the what's next factor. Rumors of additional footage or insider revelations hanging in reserve create suspense. The possibility of new leaks keeps fans glued, scanning every post, every comment, every story for a hint. One clip wasn't enough to settle the narrative, so anticipation builds. The cycle of speculation accelerates, because humans are wired to chase the next development, especially when the last one was already explosive. Even now, no one knows the full scope. Was the resurfaced clip a deliberate attack, orchestrated by someone seeking leverage? Or is it simply a reminder that past moments, once public, never truly disappear? Could it be both? A strategic move wrapped in timing that feels personal yet calculated. Every fan, every commentator, every observer has a theory, and each theory adds fuel to the fire. This is where audience perception becomes part of the story. Some read the footage as proof that YoungBoy is being targeted, caught in jealousy, industry politics, or deliberate sabotage. Others argue it's the natural consequence of his past actions, surfacing at a time when visibility is at its peak. And then there's the middle ground, those who see it as a complex mix of both, influenced by timing, personal networks, and social media dynamics. What is certain is that the conversation is no longer purely about the clip itself. It's about interpretation, control, and influence. So here's the call to action. Think critically, weigh the possibilities, and ask yourself what you actually know. The internet is full of certainty, but in reality, everything is clouded with doubt. Some people have already made up their minds, staunch defenders and skeptical critics locked in their positions. But where do you land in this divide? How do you interpret the resurfaced footage, the deletions, and the swirling rumors? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because right now, the discussion is only heating up. I'm reading every single one, and this isn't a passive story, it's interactive. If you've stuck through this breakdown from start to finish, hit that like button. Your engagement keeps the conversation alive and ensures you're part of the debate as the story continues. And if you want more, subscribe and flip those notifications on. Real-time updates, insider whispers, viral developments that mainstream outlets might miss. I'll break them down faster than anyone else. Because in a saga like this, the next clip, the next leak, or the next insider revelation could be even bigger than what's come before. In short, this story isn't over. Not by a long shot. Perceptions have shifted. Rumors are alive. Deletions create mystery. And the next move, whether from YoungBoy himself, someone close to him, or an unseen hand in the background, could redefine the narrative entirely. This is the new reality of modern celebrity, where ambiguity fuels obsession, and silence is just as loud as any statement. Stay vigilant, stay critical, stay engaged. Because in the NBA YoungBoy saga, one thing is clear: this is just getting started.